He's a perimeter pit bull, but can he take his offensive game to the next level? I think Okogie's also put in some great time. I wish he got a little bit more minutes, but Saunders has handled it well, 7-4, 11 games in. And Noah Vonleh. Noah Vonleh, kind of that underrated signing, can bring a lot of defense, can finish at the rim, a lot of layups, a lot of dunks. He isn't going to step out and shoot a three or anything like that, but he provides some good defensive mentality and attitude and energy off that bench. Shabazz Napier, I know he's hurt right now, but I think I like him as a backup point guard. He's been good for Jeff Teague this year, and I think he's a more than serviceable backup. So the bench has also been a lot better than it has been in past, because that's kind of been the kryptonite for the Wolves is, okay, the starters hang in there with the other team stars, but as soon as that bench comes in, it seems like teams start pulling away. And then when you got to play catch up, let's be honest. The bench is for, you want to keep kind of in the game. You want to keep it within that range of, 0 to 5, 0 to 6 points. So when your starters come in, they can go to work. And I think for the most part, the bench has been a big part of this team's success so far. So what I'm saying here, let's wait. Let's see what happens. 7-4 is a good start, but do not get sold yet on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Take a chill pill. It's been 11 games, but don't sit here and tell me that these were great wins against Brooklyn, Charlotte, Washington, Golden State, and Detroit. Do I think the Timberwolves can compete for an 8 seed? 100%. But do I think it's anything above that? Hell no. Let's switch to this. Week 11 of the NFL season. You know what that means. It's picks time. And last week, I felt good going into, obviously, a 5-1 in my last 6 overall. So I was feeling pretty good going into this week. Vikes +3. Very nice. 1-0. And then we had, of course, the Rams. I'm done. What's wrong with the Rams, by the way? First of all, I have Jared Goff in fantasy, who's just been awful. But they go to Pittsburgh. They can't put up more than 14 points. They lose to the Steelers outright. I take the Chiefs -6. Patrick Mahomes plays at a MVP level, and they lose to the Tennessee Titans and Ryan Tannehill. Straight up. So I had 2 picks in the Rams and the Chiefs who lost straight up. I had the Vikings, which is the most important one. Whatever, +3. So new week, 1-2 overall. I've got my picks ready for you guys. Let's begin here with the battle of the toilet bowl. I kind of mentioned that with the Jets and Giants. I think this game's even worse. Jets at Washington this weekend. My goodness, how bad can that get? I'm going to take the Jets +1.5 here for a couple reasons. Number one, as bad as the Jets are, the Jets' run defense is number 1 in the NFL at 3.3 yards per carry. And we understand that Washington really leans on Darius Geis. They've got a rookie quarterback in Dwayne Haskins who's been to say the least, has struggled so far in his rookie year. But you can't, judge him off this because the Washington Redskins are just that bad. But I'm going to take the Jets here +1.5. The Johnsons came out this week and said that Adam Gaze's job was safe. Maybe that gives them a little confidence. They're coming off a win against the Giants. Can they make it 2 in a row? If I'm getting points and I think they're going to win outright, give me the Jets +1.5 in D.C. on Sunday. Next one, Philly at home against New England. Yes, I know New England is coming off a loss. Yes, I know they're coming off a bye. And yes, I know the record of Bill Belichick coming off a bye as well. But that's sucker betting right there. That's looking at the stats and saying, there's no way I can lose. When that's the case, you go the other way around. Give me Philly +3.5. They're home. They've got to start to string together some victories. They have as of late. That NFC East is wide open right now. It's going to be a 2-team race between the Cowboys and Eagles. And the Cowboys know their schedule is really tough, so they have to win this week. And for the Philly has to win as well. I honestly think that New England's overrated. As crazy as that may sound to people, I just think they haven't played anyone. They haven't. The one team that they played that was decent is the Baltimore Ravens, and they got smacked. And I think that Philly's pass rush is going to be able to get to Brady. That's the biggest thing. To beat Brady, and I know it's easy to say, harder to do, you got to get to Brady off your front four. Because the second you start blitzing and you put them in man coverage, because you know what they like to do. Belichick does these 7-yard in, 7 yards out with Julian Edelman. They do the shallow crosses. I mean, it's ridiculous how simple the offense is, but how hard it is to stop. Philly's got to get in there with their pass rush. I think they have a decent enough defense to get in there. Also, I think Carson Wentz is going to have a big game as well. You saw Lamar Jackson have an unbelievable game on Sunday night. I think Carson Wentz does the same thing here. Once again, I just think New England is a tad overrated. Don't get crazy on it, but I do think they're a tad overrated. Last one for you guys before we wrap up the show. Houston and Baltimore. This could be the game of the week. Houston coming in here. No J.J. Watt. They just came off a beatdown in London against the Jacksonville Jaguars, 26-3. They're on a 2-game winning streak, and they're 4-1 in their last 5 games. You look at Baltimore. Baltimore has won 5 in a row. They're on fire. Someone's got to lose today. I look at it like this. Number one, the spread is too much. Houston +4. The one thing about Deshaun Watson, it doesn't matter if he's favored by 14 or an underdog by 14. Every game of his is close. I mean, I'm gonna read you the schedule really quickly with the Houston Texans and how close some of these games are. Other than that game in London, they lose by 2 against the Saints. They win by 1 against the Jags. They win by 7 against the Chargers. Win by 6 against the Panthers. Win by 7 against the Chiefs. Lose by 7 against the Colts. Win by 3 against the Oakland Raiders. Every game is close. I mean, every game is a possession away. So I think that Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans keep this thing close. I could totally see them winning this, by the way. Also, yours truly has them over 8.5. I'm looking golden right now. Houston +4, man. I really like this pick, and I actually think they're going to win outright. Baltimore has been probably the most impressive team in the NFL so far. Number 1 in a lot of people's power rankings. They've been really impressive, and they're hard to beat on the road. But I think if there's one team that can do it, it's Houston. Houston, to me, is their biggest threat. I think if New England comes back to Baltimore, I still would take Baltimore. I think if Houston comes to Baltimore in a playoff type of setting, I would take Houston. They're just one of those teams. They're gutty. They'll go into another team's place, and they'll win. You look at what they did against the Chiefs in Kansas City. I think Houston is one of those teams. They're just a scary team to play. Give me Houston +4. Big thanks to everyone who listened today. As always, we're on TalkNorth.com. Follow me on Twitter at SSTROM32. Once again, big shout out to my producers, Brandon Morton and Matt Augusta. If you want to advertise with the show, make sure to talk to Jim Suhan and check out all our other shows. Michael Russo, John Krasinski, Roy Smalley. We've got some great stuff on TalkNorth.com. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you next Sunday. Be good, everybody.